Welcome to the HR Empowerment Podcast, where we will uncover strategies and new insights from HR professionals who discuss up-to-date regulations, best practices, and the most pressing topics like diversity and equity, leadership, dealing with difficult situations, and much more that affect your bottom line and business. Thanks for joining us.
Hey everybody, Wendy Sellers here, the HR Lady. Welcome back. We have an exciting podcast series. We are going to be talking about how to help you find a new job from our expert recruiter and headhunter. But before we get there, welcome back to our fabulous co-host, JC.
Wendy, it's a pleasure to be here. I have to share with you real quick. You know, when I think about getting advice from someone, I'm like, you know, if I could talk to someone who coached and trained maybe, you know, a few hundred people, you know, that was always my dream and goal to talk to someone like that. But today, allegedly, our guest has coached and trained over 10,000 job seekers.
Yeah, that's amazing. So without further ado, we want everyone to meet the dream job whisperer. Applause, applause, applause. Josef Stetter. Hello.
Hello, and thank you for having me on your show. It's an honor and a pleasure.
Absolutely. Like, seriously, though, you have helped actually over 11,000 people land their dream jobs. Like, hello, microphone on the floor. How the heck did you do that?
So it's a combination of things. I was very confused growing up as to what I want to do when I grow up and, you know, and be an adult. So I personally switched careers 9 times and jobs over 18 times. I then got into recruiting, where I've been a generalist in recruiting for the past 20 years, working with companies like Deloitte, Apotex Pharmaceuticals, Tata Consulting Services, and many other small to global companies. And along the process of kind of, you know, the self-discovery and figuring out what I'm passionate about, I started realizing that a lot of the information that is being taught about how to find a job is what worked 75 years ago for the Industrial Revolution, but it's very outdated and very generic. And so I started offering to do lectures at government agencies like, you know, unemployment centers, new immigration welcome centers. And I started running workshops and boot camps, and any opportunity I got to share my wisdom, I took advantage of it. And, you know, through that, I've invested over 30,000 hours to master everything there is to know about job finding. With the exception of a few weird Google interview questions, there isn't a question I don't know about.
It's the truth, right? Especially then you throw AI in there too. And it's probably like, whoa, where'd that question come from? Yeah. That's amazing. Well, on behalf of all of those people, thank you, because that's one of my passions as well, is just helping people. And they're just usually random people that somebody says, call Wendy. And I'm like, I don't really do this as a living, but I know what a resume is supposed to look like so I can help people fix their resumes. And so, you know, kudos to you. Thank you so much for helping everybody. And, you know, tell us just a little bit about, like, what do you do now?
So I wear a few more hats. So one, I'm a resume whisperer. I continue to kind of write and help people learn how to find a job correctly. Unfortunately, in North America right now, there are over 60 million people that are unemployed. There's 50 million people that are severely underemployed, i.e. have a university degree but work at McDonald's. And then there's 30 to 40 million people going through some sort of educational retraining that, you know, are trying to figure out, how do I get noticed now that I have new training for the job? So I'm still very involved with that. I'm also a corporate culturist, which is basically recruiting plus in its simplest form, because I actually integrate multiple personality assessments and soft and character skills so that I can guide my clients and say, here's how you engage your employees, and here's how you better understand them. And it's not just, here's a resume, because sadly, most resumes are still really bad. And most job descriptions are very generic. So I kind of wear that side of the corporate side, where a lot of organizations preach culture, but they don't actually practice it. And so I teach them the difference between preaching and practicing. And then, you know, from no budget to Google budget, here are the different strategies that can be implemented to engage your employees and keep them, because unfortunately, turnover in North America costs $1.4 trillion a year right now.
Yeah, that's huge.
And in that process you mentioned earlier, I'm kind of working right now with a team of AI experts to integrate some of my knowledge and build and completely disrupt this whole notion of, cookie cutter resumes and cookie cutter approach to finding a job and hiring people kind of thing, and also promoting people. Just because somebody worked for 20 years in a company doesn't necessarily mean either they want to be promoted. So for example, engineers, when they get promoted, many times they feel it's a punishment because engineers love to be technical and they don't know the communication skills, they don't know the delegation skills. And so when they get promoted because they've been with the company for 10, 15 years, they get flustered and they're overwhelmed, and there isn't a support structure to help groom or mentor individuals within an organization to kind of move up the ranking as the company grows. And so part of why I do is help with that conversation as well.
I love it. I love it. My background is in engineering too, on the HR aspect anyways. And so, yeah, definitely a very unique breed of people there. And I always say, don't take a promotion just because it's more money, because if the promotion is going from your technical expertise, which you love, and now you have to manage people, which you're going to hate, it's going to backfire in the end. Maybe not hate, but definitely going to struggle with. So that is awesome. JC was just sharing with me a stat here real quick that before we wrap up and move into our second series, approximately 67% of recruiters report using AI tools to streamline their hiring processes, particularly in candidate screening and matching, resulting in a savings of time. And so maybe we could talk about that more in one of our follow-up sessions soon. So hold on to that right now, all right?
Okay.
Thanks, everybody, for listening to episode 1 of our 5-part series. We're here talking about transforming the experience of securing employment for those of you that are looking for new roles. And we're going to be talking about it from an HR aspect as well. Next up, we are going to be talking about the job market today, challenges and opportunities. And as a reminder, in the month of September, join Aurora Training Advantage to learn from me, Wendy Sellers, on how to utilize LinkedIn as an HR professional. Just go to auroratrainingadvantage.com/webinars, and you can discover all the webinar options. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining the HR Empowerment Podcast, brought to you by Aurora Training Advantage. We hope you've gained new insight and strategies to navigate the HR profession. We look forward to you joining us again on the HR Empowerment Podcast.